Welcome to Moments in Time and Space, a microfiction podcast, bringing you tales of horror and suspense with your host, Aaron Maracle. Hello everyone. Climate change threatens our planet and has impacted the way we live. What would happen if someone, or something, figured out how to weaponize it against us? The sun was slowly sinking below the horizon as Vance silently guided the wooden barge through the flooded city. In his hands, he held a large wooden pole that he used to gently push off ruined buildings when the barge drifted too close. 3 other people sat in the wooden barge in silence and kept a wary eye on the water. Everyone knew the dangers that lurked within the water, and trips to the city were generally avoided at all costs. Unfortunately, the settlement had run low on antibiotics, and the only place to find more was at the medical centers located within the flooded ruins. Vance had made this trip several times and knew the closest hospital was only a building or two away from their current position. With luck, they'd find the medicine they needed and avoid having to venture deeper into the flooded city. "Damn fish," Ben muttered from his spot near the front of the barge. "Shh," hushed Jill, who sat just behind him. Vance scowled. Everyone on this barge knew that there were rules to follow when venturing into the city. The first rule was silence is golden. Any loud sound or water disturbance risked attracting the attention of the fish, and if that happened, the odds of anyone seeing the settlement again dropped dramatically. Vance glanced at Harry and saw him sitting perfectly still in a spot near the rear of the barge. He was the youngest of the group, and this was his first barge run. So far, Harry had done quite well, and Vance began to think he might be a good candidate to be trained as a pole handler for future expeditions. A splash from the front of the barge drew Vance's attention. He saw Ben and Jill huddled in a whispered argument. Beyond them, there were ripples on the surface of the water, where something had been dropped or fallen off the barge. "Hush!" Vance hissed, and the barge fell silent. Everyone froze. With each tense moment that passed, Vance counted each of his breaths. It had been a superstition that he had developed on past trips to cope with the stress. If he got to 30 and nothing happened, everyone would be safe and the mission would be a success. On the 22nd breath, something hard hit the left side of the barge and lifted it slightly out of the water before it crashed back down with a splash. Everyone scrambled to find something solid to hold on to, and the barge was rocked again by a second hit. "Paddle!" shouted Vance. Everyone scrambled and picked up a wooden paddle from the storage box in the center of the barge. Vance caught a glance of a silver dorsal fin breaking the surface of the water behind them, but said nothing. He needed the crew to focus on paddling the barge as fast as possible, and not what might be lurking in the water. The barge picked up speed as the people paddled hard. The wooden vessel rocked as it was repeatedly struck from below. Vance could see the hospital, and he guided the barge towards it. In a few more strokes, they would be at the 5th floor window that served as a primary entry point and a step closer to safety. "Ben!" Jill shouted. The last hit in the barge had caused Ben to lose his balance. He flailed briefly before plunging into the water. Jill took her paddle and held it out to the struggling Ben. The man clutched at it but could not get a solid grip. "Keep paddling!" Vance shouted. "I'll get him!" The barge drifted by Ben and Vance grabbed his hand. He began to pull Ben back into the raft, but he felt resistance. Ben began to scream and claw at the edge of the barge with his free hand. With one final powerful tug, Ben was ripped out of Vance's grip and vanished under the water. A silver tail broke the surface and splashed the barge as it drifted further from when Ben had gone under. After giving a silent prayer for Ben, Vance scooped up his paddle and joined his remaining companions in propelling the barge towards safety. The attacks on the barge began to lessen in frequency, and the barge picked up speed once again. Several long minutes later, the barge shuddered to a stop as it collided with the ruins of the hospital. Instinct kicked in, and everyone scrambled through the window marked with a large red X. Before he left to safety, Vance tossed a mooring line around a steel pole embedded into the building to make sure the barge would be there when they returned. He collapsed on the grimy floor next to his 2 companions, drained of all energy. They all lay there panting and gasping, still stunned by the loss of Ben. Harry caught his breath and rubbed his face. "You think they're gone?" "The damn dolphins are never gone," Jill sobbed. "It's bad enough they flooded the world, but why do they want to try to kill us?" "Everyone shut up," barked Vance. The group fell silent, and Vance peered out the broken window to scan for signs of their attackers. The barge floated silently on the surface of the water, and everything seemed calm. About 20 feet away, a dolphin's head broke the surface of the water, and it bobbed for a bit as it took in its surroundings. It spied Vance staring at it, and the cetacean chirped before it slowly sank out of view. Stay out of the water. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. You can also follow me on Twitter at Moments in TAS. Feel free to recommend this podcast to others and help it grow. The opening and closing theme is Creepy Night by Daniel Carlton. Until next time, be safe, be smart, and be well. See you soon.